Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome. Good morning to a lot of you. Good afternoon to some of you. I know some of you are tuning in from different places. So we're going to kick off today's AI Masterclass for real estate agents. I want to thank everyone again for your time for being here. Just a quick note, all of this obviously is going to be recorded, so you will have access to it. So don't worry about taking notes. There's a lot to unpack here actually. So I'm going to kind of go through this kind of quickly so that we can get as much information out there. But again, feel free to take notes, but if you don't, it's all right because it's going to be recorded and you'll have access to it as well. Cool. So again, we're here for the AI Masterclass for real estate agents. And today we're going to learn how to use advanced AI tools to help generate leads, automate your nurturing, and create your very own AI assistants for your real estate business, even if you have no tech skills. This is going to be really important as we come up here. Okay, so in today's agenda, here's kind of what we're going to cover. This is super exciting stuff. Obviously, a lot of people here know about ChatGPT. Everyone's been using it, but it gets even crazier than that. We are at a level where AI is starting to become a new disruption in the industry. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But one of the things that I've seen a lot in these type of classes, or at least anything I've seen online and in person, is I've seen a lot of real estate agents teach AI and this and that, and a lot of it, they just talk about it like it's magic, like it could just come up with stuff off the fly and invent new things. And I just want to kind of break away from that notion and kind of take away those beliefs that people have been putting out there about how AI works. And I think it's important to kind of understand and learn at a certain fundamental basis of how AI works for you to kind of know what it's capable of and how you can use it for your business. So that's what we're going to do here is I'm going to go over, pretty much this class is going to be separated into three main sections. The first section, the first 15, 20 minutes or so, we're just going to go over a little bit of how AI works, right? And I'm going to break it down super simple so that you guys are not obviously awestruck with a bunch of big words and things that you might not never get into. Okay, so this is for real estate agents. The second part, I'm going to kind of show you some use cases and some scenarios of how you can use AI in your businesses and how I've been using it to build some really crazy cool tools and automations. And then in the third part, I'm going to go through some of my strategies of what I would do if I'm a real estate agent, I am an investor, I'm whatever title I am in real estate. I'm going to go over some of those strategies, but I also want to leave most of the ending to kind of have people who are on the chat kind of send in any ideas, tell me a little bit about your business, and then I'll go through and we can live on this webinar, on this masterclass, kind of find some tactics to help you either generate leads, automate your business and stuff like that in real estate. So let's get into it. Oh, before I forget too, there's a special gift at the end that I'm going to announce closer to the end of the slides. So a little bit about me. I've been doing real estate marketing for over 7 years, co-founded Full Bars Media, which is, if you Google it, it's a luxury real estate and developer marketing company. We do a lot of the video content, some automation, some design, some website stuff. So I've been in the space for over 7 years doing that, plus helping other real estate agents. I helped multiple technology startups launch. So I'm the guy that some of these startups go to and ask for help to, hey, can you create a cool design? Can you help us figure out how to launch this idea? How do we get a social? How do we attract people? Stuff like that. Recently, I partnered with Jordan Terrell in the Jordan Terrell group here in Denver, Colorado, and we're building some really awesome, we're building like a launch pad for a lot of cool ideas and a lot of companies that we're building here to help real estate agents accelerate their business. And so one of those is called Community. And so it's a platform kind of like Place, but it's more customized. It's more done for you as well. It's a platform to help agents streamline their business, maximize their profits, and get their time back. So again, context, I've been in real estate. I understand how this works. I understand even the deep problems inside of real estate, not just surface level. A lot of other master classes or AI stuff are going to go over just fundamental surface level stuff, such as, everyone needs leads, everyone needs to convert, but I understand how a real estate transaction is done. And so that's kind of why I feel like I can give a lot of value to the community by bringing in my marketing skills, my understanding with AI automation in the AI space, and the understanding of, and obviously being in the space of real estate. So hopefully I can help a lot of you guys out in this masterclass. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about AI and what's happening right now in the world and why right now is the time to embrace AI. So every big brand right now is all in, investing billions of dollars into AI development. You know, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Amazons, and so many more are pouring in money from Silicon Valley, from investors, from other people that just want to, you know, bring in and build the next big AI project because it's getting huge. AI recently unlocked a new world of quote unquote opportunities for small businesses. And I'll kind of elaborate what that means as you kind of get to see more of this masterclass. Okay, and so here's important. What used to cost $50,000 plus for any of your new tech ideas are now possible at a fraction of the cost. This is one of those opportunities that AI was able to unlock for a lot of people, and we'll get to dive into it, and you're going to become an AI master at the end of this to understand exactly why this is possible now. Okay, backend engines that power Amazon, Facebook, and Google are literally now in the palm of your hands. And again, it sounds kind of crazy the way I say it, but you're going to see why that is now possible, that you can actually build stuff without having to have the budget, the staff, the resources, and the talent that these big companies like Amazon, Facebook, and Google have. But you can build something super amazing and super powerful with AI using a lot of the tools I'm going to talk about. Okay, time is indispensable, right? We can never get time back. And AI can now enhance your efficiency, giving you your time back. This is one of the most important benefits of using AI and how we're going to use it as well for real estate. Okay, AI automations effectively can replace like $80,000, $50,000 per year roles, such as admin, data entry, etc. Again, I say effectively because as long as you have the structure and everything is measured and it's accounted for and you have the notes and everything, it technically can replace those rows as long as you did everything you could to make sure that you wrote down every step that you do for that job. So right now, AI disruption in the news. So I want to kind of showcase some of these really cool news articles that have been coming out about AI. First of all, one of my favorite one right now is with Elon Musk. He recently just founded the new AI company called X.AI. And X.AI is literally a whole company. Again, there's not much information on it yet, but based on what we can see on the site and what it says, they're trying to understand the true nature of the universe with the help of AI, which to me, it's mind-boggling. That might cause a lot of debate for some of you guys, but it's insane that now we can use this type of logic, reasoning, data, back-end stuff to understand things like the complexities of the universe that humans cannot understand. So now we're about to figure out and find out if AI can help us understand just that. Cool. Apple tests Apple GPT, which is, again, another tool that is kind of competing against OpenAI. But just think about it. Anything that Apple makes is usually always revolutionary. And so if Apple is not going to use AI, imagine if Siri ends up turning into literally your own personal assistant that can go out and do stuff for you in the digital landscape. That's going to be game changing. And I'm sure a lot of you will pay like $1,000 a month for that type of thing. ChatGPT powered app that helps blind people see the world around them. So this is one of those cool positive news cases where AI is being used for the good. And this is an amazing story here. There is an app that helps people, that you partner with a blind person and then you collect all this data, because that's right now where it is. It's in a beta phase, kind of collecting the data to help blind people see. And again, you can Google that and kind of learn a little bit more about how that works and the complexities of it. But I just think it's going to be game changing for a lot of those people with disabilities like that and so much more, especially in robotics. This is kind of funny. So South Park, there's people right now creating full South Park episodes, and they're actually starring in it. So they're using their voice and they're replicating all of the other animations and all the other voices of the actors, and they're replicating it, and they literally can also create the whole show entirely with AI. So a full animational production like South Park is now created with AI. Insane, right? Okay, Google's founders returned. So as soon as ChatGPT and OpenAI and all the hype started, the two founders of Google ended up returning to the company because Google needed help, and they also wanted to get in on the action. So this is just to show you that if big people like this are getting all in it, okay, why shouldn't we? Okay, so let's start off with breaking down AI, right? What is artificial intelligence? So let's go through this general overview. So one of the things that I want to take is to break down is artificial intelligence is not magic, okay? I've been seeing a lot of people use that word. thrown around. Oh my God, it's magical. It can write me blogs. It can write me articles. It can do everything for me. But there is really nothing magical about artificial intelligence. It's actually not even intelligent until later down the line, and you're about to find out why. It requires training to get smarter, just like us with school and education. As soon as we're born, we're babies, we're toddlers, like we're stupid. We don't know anything. We don't know how to even ride a bike or how to walk. So we have to get trained. We have to get taught. And that is exactly how AI works. So let's break it down. Without data, there is no intelligence. Okay, that's very important. So without any of the data, AI would be useless. Okay, and also the correct data makes a big difference. So let's see some examples here. So here are examples of data. When I talk about data, I mean textual data, numerical data, image data, audio data, video data, transactional data. So anything that could be measured, contains clues or patterns, and is trackable can be used as data. Okay, so now you kind of understand what I mean when AI requires data to get smarter. Okay, and so those are examples of what type of data it can use. Now, what is machine learning? Okay, machine learning is pretty much how we train the AI to become intelligent. So like I mentioned, it essentially works the same way it does for us, where as humans, we can either be the smartest person in the room or the dumbest person in the room, depending on the amount of education we receive. Okay, so that is literally how AI works. It kind of replicates the human brain, and it needs to get trained, it needs to get taught and educated. And that is what machine learning is. Think about it as the school for AI. Okay, how we train AI to become intelligent. Okay, so let's give an example here of what do you mean by training this machine or robot to become intelligent? So I'll give an example with image data. Okay, train AI to recognize cats. So if we're going to build a machine and we're trying to teach AI to recognize cats, what we do is we feed it a bunch of pictures of cats, right? So you see the top three, they say a cat, the machine is learning. We're telling it with assistance, we're telling it that it's correct, which one is correct. And then eventually when we have an AI that does not, a picture that does not have a cat in it, we identify it as false or wrong. Okay. And so eventually it'll start picking up, recognizing little patterns on the cats. It'll start recognizing whiskers. It'll start recognizing the eyes, how it's shaped. It'll start recognizing the ears, the fur, the coloring even. And it's going to get to the point that it understands exactly what a cat is. Okay, so eventually AI can train itself through unsupervised learning. So much like a child's brain developing to identify a cat, eventually it's going to get to the point where it can identify it by itself, and that's called unsupervised learning. So in the beginning, again, it's dumb, it doesn't know what a cat is, but that's called supervised learning, where we're telling it, yes, you're correct, no, that's not correct, and eventually it'll pick up, and now through unsupervised learning, it's going to learn how to identify a cat just like us. Now we know what a car looks like. Now we can identify what the color red looks like. We can identify what a human looks like versus an animal. Same thing with AI. It's crazy. Kind of think about it. It's almost like another human. Okay, data machine learning. So there's one piece missing here. So there's data. So for the AI to work all together, there's going to be data that you need to put into it. Then you got to train the data with machine learning. So take the data and put it to school, right? And train how to use that data. And there's the last thing that's missing is the recipe, or so-called the algorithm, which the algorithm is just a set of instructions, parameters, or rules given that a computer follows to solve a problem or perform a task. Okay. So every unique dish requires a different recipe. And so what I mean by that is every type of data might require different types of dishes or recipes in order for it to process it correctly. So these are different types of recipes that we can use, or algorithms. There's linear regression. There are decision trees. There are neural networks, which I highlighted that because it's one of the biggest ones that we use nowadays. There's clustering algorithms. There's reinforcement learning algorithms. So that recipe, again, it's called an algorithm. And this on the right side is an example of what a linear regression algorithm is. So it'll take all those yellow points it'll put it on a plot data with an X and Y axis, and then it'll try to identify a pattern, right? So now it's trying to recognize, oh, based on the way the dots are, this is exactly where it's heading towards. This is kind of how you can predict the value or the price of a home in 5 years based off of 2 different indexes and stuff like that. So now you kind of see the back end of how some of these things are working, which is super interesting. Okay, so again, trying not to lose you all guys here, but maybe you might be thinking, what's the point of this? Why do I need to know this? You're going to find out that AI, and I want to break it down to you to the point where you can see AI not as some mythical, crazy stuff that you need to be a high-end engineer to understand and years of college education. You can understand the fundamentals of it, just like I do, for the most part. And then after you understand the fundamentals of it, you're going to learn how to implement it into your own business and what it's capable of and what it's not. So that's going to be important. Okay, neural networks, which are the mini agents. This is what I talked about in the last one. So this is one of the most popular AI algorithms today that we are using in multiple different places. So this is what I call the mini agents. So what's interesting about this is that it's designed to mimic the human brain. It's used for complex tasks, such as, identifying, like the cat part. It might identify multiple pictures, break it down into pixels, and try to identify what a cat is by combining all those pixels together. But every single agent goes out and looks at a pixel and checks whether it's closely related to a cat or not. Okay. So again, another way to break this down is imagine a lot of tiny decision makers, which are called neurons. If you can see the image on the left, those little dots, those would be called neurons. They're working together to make sense of the data. Some might specialize in identifying colors, others in shapes. And when their power combines, they might be able to tell you what the image you're looking at is a cat or not. Okay, so here, Zillow, obviously, is powered by neural networks, right? The infamous Sestimate that all of you real estate agents hate is powered by neural network algorithms designed to take into account multiple classifications of data to output a certain number. So it takes the address, it takes the home sold in the area, it takes all of those things that you see on a Zillow page, and it combines them together, and then it creates the Zestimate, right? No one is manually putting that number in. It's all done by neural networks and AI. And this is kind of funny because I know a lot of you guys will agree here is it's not perfect, which is also the reason why you still have a job, and jokingly, but seriously too. So again, this is why most people don't trust Estimate. This is why a lot of you guys hate it, is because there's obviously flaws to it where it cannot actually go physically in person and identify if there's structural damage and identify if a window's broken, if electrical needs to be replaced. It cannot do things that humans need to do in order for it to be optimized perfectly to provide an exact number. So that's why it's called this estimate. Okay. So again, we're learning a lot of stuff here. Real estate agents turn into developers now. So AI. So to break it down in simple terms, what artificial intelligence is pretty much data and machine learning, and you put it into an algorithm, and that is what makes the AI. So data plus machine learning, you putting into algorithm, and that is what makes AI. Okay, AI cannot exist without human intelligence. That's interesting for now. So there could be a scenario, this is kind of why it's crazy in the news, but there is a scenario where it will be autonomous and it will be able to identify and create tasks on its own without ever needing a human to assist, and it will have a mind of its own. Sounds crazy out there, right? We're talking about Skynet here and everything, but it is a future. If you've seen articles about it, it is a future, and that's what they're trying to make sure that we avoid that type of future by starting now and creating safety parameters and stuff. Okay, so, but what do I mean by this? Let's break it down. Why can't an AI exist without human intelligence? So we collect and provide the data to the machine, right? So we have to feed it the data, and we have to tell it what data to use. Okay, and then we have to train it based on our parameters. So like I said, if we show them 50 pictures of a cat and one of a dog, but then we just say the dog picture is a cat, then eventually it might recognize that dogs are also cats. And so we have to give the parameters and the rules in which it must be trained for it to become intelligent. Okay. We also monitor and validate the outputs provided, okay? Because again, if it comes out and says, yes, this is a cat and it's actually a dog, then it's not going to be an effective algorithm, okay? Now, the training, right, the machine learning that it's doing can also become outdated, and new sets of data must be provided continuously. So obviously, kind of like what you saw with ChatGPT, its training stopped in 2021 for at least the 3.0. And so it wasn't able to pull anything recent from the information, any new articles and anything like that. That wasn't possible because the training became outdated. Okay, so now that we talked about ChatGPT, let's actually break down how it works, right? Some of you guys are using it right now, and I think you guys are using it to the point where you think it's magic. And let's break it down here so maybe it can give you some more context on how ChatGPT actually works and how you can actually use it effectively, okay? So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Again, meaning pre-trained that it already has the data that it was trained on. Right now, the ones that you're using, it is technically using the data to train new ones, but the one that you're getting, the outputs you're getting right now, it's based off of data it's already been trained on, not new data, not things that it makes up, okay? So in simple terms, ChatGPT, that awesome little tool you're working with, it works like an advanced autocorrect feature, trained to predict the next word by inferring relationships between words in a contextual manner. Okay, so again, I'm breaking this down super simple terms, but if you talk to a developer and you tell them this, they might get mad at you because obviously they know what the real backend and how that works. But we're trying to simplify it here. So think about autocorrect, and it's just super advanced. It can predict the next word. So now class is in session, and let's review some of the stuff, right? So data class, remember how I gave you guys the list of data, types of data that we can use to feed into an AI machine. So what type of data do you think ChatGPT works like? Well, textual data. Okay, it's just text, right? It doesn't use videos, it doesn't use images right now, it's just textual data. Okay, ML training, it's using supervised learning, which we talked about. In the beginning, it had to use supervised learning so that we tell it that yes, what you're outputting is correct, or it makes sense, or no, what you're outputting is not. Otherwise, it won't actually know what 2 + 2 equals if we don't tell it that it's 4. Okay, the training output in the algorithm class, it's using neural networks like we talked about. And the training output now, and this is something new that we're going to talk about, it's called a large language model. Okay, so the human impersonator, this is what a large language model is. Okay, so large language models is pretty much a trained deep learning model that understands and generates text in a human-like fashion. So it's almost like I said, it's impersonating a human. Okay, large language models analyze vast amounts of data, learning the patterns and connections between words and phrases, therefore acquiring the ability to mimic human intelligence. So it's been trained so much on our language based off of blogs, based off of articles, based off of text conversations, and just having conversational language context, it pretty much knows and how to impersonate a human. So it's kind of creepy to think about, but that's really what a large language model is. It's just an AI who has been trained so well that it now has a system in which it operates and understands and how to respond. So a large language model, think about it as like a packaged version of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a large language model. And there's others out there. It's not just OpenAI, but there's a bunch of like Hugging Face and Azure and a bunch of other big large language models that we can use. But OpenAI obviously is the most popular one. But just think about it, it's packaged up and it's ready to use because it already has all of these millions of data points that let it know this is how humans talk, this is how we communicate, this is what we know, this is what we don't know, and it just tells you right there. So now you can use it. Okay. So when I say, remember how I mentioned that ChatGPT can predict words? Okay, so ChatGPT uses contextual data to weigh all of its options and select the next word or token based off data it's trained on. So in this example, if we provided it with context about real estate, then it will identify house as the next probable token to use. So here's what I mean by that in this example, right? So the output is what you'll see on ChatGPT, right? If you type in, if you've been giving it prompts and you've been talking about real estate the whole time, right? Priming the model, and you put in, I want to buy a, the next token prediction that it's going to use is house, because it is the most possible one because of based off of the context you gave it. You're a real estate agent, so of course you want to buy a house, right? And there's also other options it could choose because it has millions of words it could predict for the next word to come up with, but it's not going to use cat because it has a lower weight. You didn't give it context that you're talking about cats. Okay, so that's kind of why it works this way. It doesn't just come up stuff with magic. It uses conversations that it has recorded, the data that it has recorded in the past based off textbooks, copy, libraries, all of this, and it will predict the next word based off of the weight, based off how probable it is that this next word goes tied to the rest of this sentence. Okay, so breaking it down, does it seem like magic now? Does it seem like it's just doing amazing things and it's inventing stuff out of nowhere? It actually isn't. So if we look at this model, all it's doing is just saying, oh yeah, based off of a book that I read a year ago, real estate agents like houses, so I'm going to say they want to buy a house. Again, simple terms, that's pretty much what it's doing. But in actual technical terms, it's doing a lot of powerful stuff on the back end and instantly for the most part. But I just want to showcase this so you guys kind of understand really how it operates and how it works. So when you get a crappy script from YouTube or any of that, like that is the reason why. Okay. Priming matters. Contextual pattern recognition. So just what we talked about. This is my case in point. So you are now a cat lover. Finish this sentence. I want to buy a, and what does ChatGPT say? Cozy plush cat bed for my furry friend. So it just finished a sentence based off of me saying I'm a cat lover. And now if I say the same prompt or the same chat widget, I'm going to ask it, you are now a real estate agent. So I primed it. Now finish the sentence. I want to buy a charming, spacious family home. So that's why when you hear prompt engineering and you hear the words priming, that's pretty much what it means. It's because AI has millions and millions of data points, this ChatGPT model, that it can use up. Like think about it as a library. And so in order for it to give you the best possible answer based off of the stored data that it has, you have to prime it and give it the context in which where you want it to look for in that library. So if there was a library with multiple sections and there was only one section about real estate, you would want to say, hey, you are now a real estate agent. So now when it starts taking out the context and it starts giving you the output, it'll start looking at the real estate library section instead of the car department or the animal department. And so that's pretty much what AI priming is and how the whole hype around prompt engineering, why you need to learn how to do that. That's why that works and why it's important for you in order for you to use ChatGPT effectively. Okay. And a couple little things left. So it's all in the fine details for ChatGPT. So ChatGPT sees tokens. So you might see this, especially if you're playing with the playground version of OpenAI. It sees tokens as individual puzzle pieces to understand and generate text. So let's break it down really even more on how it knows what to predict next. So it uses these tokens. Some of the tokens are made up of like 2 letters. Some of them might be 6 letters. Some of them might be 4. But on average, it's every 4 characters equals 1 token. And if you can see on the image on the right, all of those different line breaks of different colors, those are each 1 token. And the way it's using it is it breaks it up such as if it sees a word like elevate or let's see what we have here, 4 characters, tokenization. So it knows if at the top right here, tokenization, it knows that token is 1 word and ization sometimes goes in context with other words. So it just breaks it up and it really gets really deep into it, into figuring out what word or how do I generate this next phrase? How do I finish this paragraph or sentence or even word? So that is how ChatGPT sees tokens in the OpenAI platform. Okay, so now let's talk about the limitations of AI, what AI can and cannot do. So what can it do, right? What's stuff that it cannot do? So it won't replace your entire job or role in real estate, right? Like I mentioned in the Zillow example, it's not going to get to the point where it's going to replace our job. So if you ever hear that, it's not. They're just hyping it up. It cannot invent new ideas, strategies, or concepts. So now that you know how it works, remember how I told you about the data, the AI algorithms, and the machine learning that it requires? It doesn't come up with new ideas or strategies or concepts that have never been heard before. Yes, it can mix things around and help you come up with something you've never seen, but it's not creating these out of nowhere, okay? It's just piling them together and giving you a new solution, which again, is still powerful in itself, but just I want you to understand that it cannot come up with stuff that hasn't been done before or that it hasn't been fed into the data with. So that's important now. So it can't be creative in the same way humans are, right? So AI automations, once you have it already, like ChatGPT is not a sentient being. It doesn't recognize how to be creative. It doesn't recognize even what we think is creative, because creative is subjective, right? To different ways and to different humans in different manners. It cannot understand or experience emotions. It is not a sentient being. It doesn't know that if you curse at it, it's going to get mad. It's just going to respond in the same manner that it would when it saw another conversation on text that looks similar to what it's experiencing. So it can mimic, like it sounds depressed, it sounds sad, it sounds like that because it's using context from the data, but it cannot understand or experience those emotions, right? And it cannot understand context like a human, right? So it won't understand sarcasm if you don't input that this is sarcasm. It doesn't understand certain little nuances like that only humans can understand. And so that is one of the biggest limitations, okay? So what can it do, right? So AI can handle complex, repetitive tasks. It can handle huge amounts of data. It can learn from examples, right, which is the data. It can automate routine tasks that you do over and over and over again, that if you have a system that has patterns and you can give it clues, you can just automate that. Okay, it can make predictions or identify patterns based off of large and complex data. That, again, as humans, we can probably do, but it would be too tedious. It would take too much time. And we'd rather have AI, something like AI, do that for us. So now knowing what it can and cannot do, we sound kind of silly saying, create a creative YouTube script for me to go viral on YouTube, right? Obviously, sometimes it might give you some good context, some good strategies, some ideas, but I would never just use ChatGPT as an end-all be-all to where you just write one simple sentence without priming it, because a lot of you guys are doing that right now, just asking it, break this down for me, do this for me, do that. So I wouldn't just write one simple sentence and just copy and paste what it says, because it's not going to be good quality. You will get good quantity, right? You can make 25 emails in a way, but you also have to kind of put in some legwork yourself. You have to either buy prompt engineering ChatGPT prompts that can help you with that. You can either up your skills with AI, kind of like what you're doing now, and learning a little bit better on how to use it. Or you can just put in a little bit more of your own blood, sweat, and tears, and make sure that you verify the text and that you make it better yourself. You always have to do that, because now that you understand it, it's not going to be good quality. Can it take over the world? I actually put this in the middle because it is possible. Again, not being a conspiracy theorist here, but now that I understand how AI works, what it can and cannot do, and what the capabilities of are, and what's limiting it to take over the world, that technology can soon be available to become another Skynet. So just fun fact for you guys. Okay, so now you're thinking, how do I use this for real estate? Renee, you talked all about this AI backend stuff. I'm not a developer. I don't understand this. Yes, now I understand the foundations of it, but how do I use this for real estate? And again, this is why it's important for you to get it, to understand at least that foundational aspect, and why I don't see a lot of education, even as simple as this, being provided to real estate agents. We're in a world right now that it's going to change. And if you're not ahead of the curve by watching videos like this, by taking educational things, and just, again, you don't have to be a developer, you don't have to go full time in this, but at least understanding the capabilities of it and what it can and cannot do, it's going to help you understand how to use it for your real estate business. Okay, so now I want to walk through some steps, and this is going to be more of an actual live walkthrough of how to create your own AI agents for real estate. So the way I'm going to showcase this, okay, is first I want to give you context that AI is now capable of becoming a full-time AI assistant, okay? this is what I said when there's this disruption. So there's recently in the marketplace in the last 5-10 years, there's this new thing called no code tools that have been helping a lot of people build startups quickly because it doesn't require code. Code used to limitate a lot of us, specifically for developers, because it just took so much time to manually do. Now with the rise of no code tools like Bubble, Webflow, Stack AI, BotPress, building and deploying AI assistants is now attainable for any of the ordinary real estate industry agents. Again, this could be for investors, this can be for developers, this can be for just the average real estate agent, okay? So to give you context, before, usually it would cost like $50,000 of investments into developers, and you might need to wait 6 months to deploy your crazy idea that has not even seen a single dollar in revenue, that you can't even test it, right? You have to make it before you even test it. But now we're getting to the point where even as little as $300, you can build a application that is powerful, and it will only take 24 hours to deploy, which is insane to think about, right? I've seen YouTube videos right now where people are building an actual Uber app, like a fully functional Uber app within, I don't know whether it was 24 hours or within a week, but they build a fully functional Uber app by themselves, just using no code tool like Bubble. Okay, so I want to walk through a quick demonstration and let's showcase some examples of the capabilities that AI can accomplish for your business. Okay, so there's websites like BotPress. Okay, so BotPress here, it's going to be a very simple and easy to use, even though it looks kind of complex, obviously off the bat. It's actually making it easier for people like me and people like yourselves to kind of create stuff that, again, you needed to hire developers and a bunch of other stuff to just custom create. So for example, here, this hero image, this greeting card here. So this is going to be a chatbot, right? And the way that it's going to work, I might show you that first, is we create a personalized chatbot, kind of like a custom version of ChatGPT, but personalized and customized to work for our business. And so what I mean by that, this one specifically here is a virtual open house assistant. And I created this demo literally in a matter of a couple of 1 or 2 hours. And so just to showcase like functionalities of how quickly things like this can be built. But so this chatbot, if I were to come in here and start talking with it, this can be used as a chatbot that has a QR code. When someone enters the open house, you say, hey, this house is big. I know there's a lot of questions. You might want to know everything that there is to do around here. If you have any questions, just scan this QR code and you get to talk to my AI assistant who can answer any of your questions. Okay, and so they do. And so let's say I'm walking into this open house on 1234 Property Street. Click to scan the QR code. Oh, interesting. Okay, and so I open it and I'm walking through the house and then I see this right on my phone. And then I see, hey, this is Ava, your friendly open house assistant. I'm here to answer any questions about 1234 Property Street. In order to get started, can you tell me your full name? So now it's going to collect my information. So again, instead of a sign-in sheet, you're using the chatbot to collect information, and this can kick off straight into your CRM. So you're automatically collecting leads right out of your open house. Okay, so what's my best email address? Let's put one of mine right here. Again, as soon as that's sent out, now I'm just a new contact on your CRM, and now you just literally captured me. Okay, so now it's telling me, welcome to 123 Property Street, Renee Costa. For reference, I know everything about the property, including square footage, amenities, stats about the neighborhood, local hotspots, walkability scores, and more. What questions do you have about this property? Okay, and for reference, I used a summary of Bill Gates's mansion, I think in Washington. So if whatever it spits out, it's going to tell me stuff about that specific house. So let me ask it, how big is this house? Right, I see that it's huge, but I just want to know, how big is this house? Wow, the house is spread across an impressive 66,000 square feet. And then it's asking me if I have any more questions. Yes, actually I do. Now that I know that can give me anything. What other questions do you have about this property? What amenities does it have? Okay. So again, it's now becoming a useful resource to your potential buyer, to your potential client right here. So now I just ask what amenities does it have, and it literally spit it out within a couple of seconds. These are the amenities that includes parks and recreation, shopping, dining, education, healthcare, transportation, right? Let me ask it stuff like, let me do it. Yes, I do. I have another question. Let me ask it stuff like, is it safe to live here? Boom. It is safe to live here, and it has a full round-the-clock security team. Amazing, huh? So again, this is just a quick example, but let me show you the back end real quick, okay? So the way that I built this is using nodes, it's connecting them together. You don't have to understand all that, but just the basic fundamentals here is that what this could be used is a virtual house assistant, and what it's using is a knowledge base that you can input in here. So this is what I put. I put an overview of the property. I put about the neighborhood and local amenities, and you can add bunch of stuff here. So you can add, for example, you can add PDFs, plain text, documents, even web search links that you know that already has a lot of the information. So imagine if you had your MLS PDF, right? You can upload it here. You can even get more context on it. Let's say if you're having a property, and I'm giving context for here, people in Colorado, Westminster, Colorado. I can go on ChatGPT, I can go to Google, I can go many different sources, find all of the best amenities, best restaurants around that specific house, and guess what? Copy, paste here. Download as a PDF, paste here. Like use resources that are already made and paste it here. So now it will know everything about the property that I specifically gave it. Remember how we talked about how AI works? So now we're training our own AI by giving it data that specifically we want, that is going to be useful for our use case, that's going to be valuable for our clients. Whoa, now we're becoming AI freaking experts over here. So now that we feed the data into here, what this is doing is it's just going through automations of like what to do next, right? And so now that chatbot knows the data about the house, I literally asked it all these questions. And then from there, this is just where more of my marketing mind comes in. And we can go through here. And then at the end, like for example, right here where it says, do you have any more questions? I could put no, not at this time. Okay, great. Here are other ways I can be of value. Ask more questions. Send me the information about this home to my email. Help me find properties like this in my area. Now it's almost like a conversational landing page bot. It's like your sales assistant now, because besides answering questions from a document and like providing contextual data, you can now automate stuff like, hey, have you ever thought about, do you want to know how you can buy this home for $500? Like that could be one of the options we had here. When they click it, it can already go into an automation where it starts asking them questions like, cool, like what's your average income, la la la, like again, all up to you. Or it can even click it and it can go into a landing page where it just is like an apply now page or whatever you want it to do. So my point is you're building your own AI, and now you're able to literally train it to become your own AI assistant. And this is specifically, the way we're going to do this is specifically for one task. So this is a virtual open house assistant. Well, guess what else we can do? Well, we can make this a coaching bot. So I'll show you another example, and this is with Stack AI. So for this coaching bot here, using some of our team's trainings. So Matt McKenzie, a great sales person in our team, he runs our whole sales department, trains a lot of salespeople, has over, I don't even know, 5,000 sales calls and is under his belt. He made a bunch of courses and PDFs with our sales training, right? And how he would respond to stuff. So in this specific thing, what I did is I just uploaded the PDFs, right? The PDFs of these courses that we created with the SOPs of how he does sales trainings and how to respond and what to say. And those are all just uploaded those. And look, 2.2 seconds, that's all it took to upload. Okay. And then here's the input, which is the same thing like ChatGPT, right? Like this is you writing into ChatGPT. What are some scripts or lines that I can say to spark curiosity in my sales conversation? And then this is the prompt I gave it. Remember the priming? So this is the prompt that I gave it in order for it to give me a really cool, well thought out answer. Okay. And all I did is input the code, letting it know that input this input and then use the documents to make the question and answer. And here's what it spit out. So again, let's go through this. I asked it, what are some scripts or lines I can say to spark curiosity in my sales conversation? And look at what it gave me. Straight out of the PDF, straight from the training of Matt McKenzie. It says, sure, sparking curiosity is a great way to engage your clients and keep the conversation flowing. Here are some scripts inspired by the Just Curious course outline. Number 1, help me understand what's motivating you to make a move. Number 2, just so I understand things from your perspective. What does your ideal home look like? Number 3, out of curiosity, how did you come up with your budget for a new home? So you get what I'm saying? This is going to revolutionize the way that we train, that we onboard, that we provide value to our clients, because we're almost in a way kind of cloning ourselves, right? We're cloning all of the information that we know, all of our knowledge, all of our real estate knowledge, and we're able to create automations like this, right? So now it's like chatbots that you can use internally or externally and showcase them to the clients, like the open house bot that we talked about, right? So now we're building this type of stuff. Again, like I mentioned, wasn't available before. We weren't able to do this. If I wanted to build something like this, guess what? 20 grand, development time, development money, hire a developer, all this time wasted for something as simple as this. Now it's possible. Okay. So let's go through some of the other stuff real quick. And just for reference for all of you guys, obviously this is not a step-by-step walkthrough tutorial on how to build those. I'll show you at the end what my free gifts are and how I'm going to help you guys kind of get in front of this game and how to, use this for your business as well. I hope to become a resource in terms of AI and automations in real estate. Okay. So let's keep going here real quick and I'll have other stuff to show you. So the key here is using your own data, quality over quantity. So if you have your own SOPs, your own custom curated lists, your own data, your own information, then you can train AI to become your perfect assistant specifically for your business. So remember those scenarios and demos that I just showed you? You can't do that with ChatGPT because it's using billions and billions of data points that are like all over the place in different formats. Well, guess what? Now we're training our own AI to become literally the perfect assistant by giving it the data that it needs. So we're feeding it, we're training it. And now it's going to become intelligent in our way, the way that we needed to use it, all right? So now it can also perform the tasks for you, such as data entry, automation triggers, sending emails, updating systems, and practically anything that can be done online. So what I showed you was just fundamentals. You can break this down all the way to the point where you can integrate it into your CRM, where it can send out calendar invites to all the people automatically. And it just triggers flow after flow after flow after flow within seconds. And it just comes back and says, hey, my task is done. Here's what I did for you. I sent out all the emails to the open house registrants. I sent them a PDF. I sent them a text message. I scheduled calls with them. And I did all of that. And guess what? Now it's done. So imagine how much hours, how much time every single day you'll be able to save, how much even revenue you'll be able to keep more of because you're not having to hire extra people to do certain tasks that, again, that AI can now do for you. So it's going to revolutionize the way that we think about our real estate business, how we think about building our real estate developments, how we attract potential clients, all of that stuff, mortgage brokers, everyone in here, whoever's watching this course can benefit from using AI automations such as these that I showed you. But let's go more deep into it. Okay, so let's give some more high-level examples of ideas that could be implemented. Again, these are not concepts. Some of these I've actually created, and some of them are just like we know that they're possible. We have developers on our team that are able to implement any of these. But high-level examples, stuff that we can do today without spending 50 grand and using AI. Okay, automated email campaigns using live data from the internet. So you can literally scrape the web, create an email campaign based off of those web searches and send it to them and just automate the entire process. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Coaching tools, like I mentioned, using your SOPs or training data to train you or others. So as long as you have all those documents, all those scripts, all of that stuff, you can upload it all into the server and you can ask it, hey, here's what a client told me. How can I respond best to this text? And guess what? It's going to present you with solutions based off of your data. So now you don't need to hire 10 real estate coaches to train your team. All you need to do is have one AI training coaching bot that's there 24/7. That doesn't care if it's bothered, doesn't care if you text them in the middle of the night asking for help because they're trying to close a client at 2 a.m. for some reason. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't care. It works 24/7 and you can train people simultaneously at the same time. Amazing. Okay, onboarding AI assistant, which is something that we're building here for our own company and community. So we're building this whole onboarding AI assistant to automate the entire process of onboarding new agents. Imagine you're a developer and you want to train staff. Maybe you have a bunch of systems and processes. You have it all documented. You're a perfect, tech company and you have all these processes. But guess what? Now you can make your company more efficient and use an onboarding AI assistant to onboard new employees for you without having to use your HR department, without having to use pretty much any other staff, because they can now focus on more income producing activities or just more valuable activities in general. The whole point of here, again, is it won't replace people altogether, especially high value people like that, like real estate agents. But what it can do, it can replace a lot of the day-to-day, minute by minute, hour by hour, just tedious tasks that we have to do on a daily basis that are just repetitive, that AI can do because it's all online and it can do it. So just think about things like that. Landing page AI assistants, right? So this is kind of like the virtual open house. I can put that in a landing page where it also has the videos and the pictures of the house. But guess what? I can also have the chatbot here. Hey, this is Jeremy, your AI virtual open house assistant. Ask me any questions. And now while people are online, you can host virtual open houses every single day, 24/7, without having to actually be there to answer those questions, because now your AI assistant is going to do it for you. So imagine open houses, imagine virtual tours. You can literally have a website where it says openhouse247.com. And all it does is every, hour, every 3 hours, it automatically goes through new houses listed by your team or just in the market. And it already has the data to answer any questions when people are live on the site. Boom. Imagine the capabilities of that. Imagine having that for a developer who has multiple buildings, multiple units, and people want to know, hey, what about this unit? Is this one east facing? Is this one west facing? What views does this one have? Is this a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom? All of those questions can be answered by AI, and it all automated. And you're still going to capture the info, right? So again, you capture the information because you always want to have that. It's lead generation, and then you provide help. And the good thing is that for the open house example, when you scan a QR code, that bot doesn't just go away. You can keep it there live 24/7. So guess what? Maybe that guy who went to that open house had a question like 3 hours after he left the open house. He might have not gotten your number because, again, he doesn't want to be bombarded. Some of them don't want to give you your numbers because they know real estate agents are salesy and this and that. And so they might not want to be communicated. But he didn't care about the bot because, oh yeah, it's just a bot, no worries. But guess what? Now he has that pulled up on his phone when he goes for lunch. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And now he's going through it and asking more questions about that same house that he forgot to ask. And maybe one of those questions sparks curiosity. And then one of the prompts that the AI gives it is like, hey, it seems you're really interested in this house. Do you want to take the next steps, or what else do you want to know, etc. And so now it's actually becoming a 24/7 sales agent for you. Imagine that. Okay. Identify missed opportunities in your CRM. Okay. So this is what it can do now. It can integrate into your CRM. It can go based off your activity and your patterns, and it can tell you, hey, Jessica needs to be followed up with because you haven't followed up with her in more than 4 weeks. And in one of your messages, you said you'd follow up in a month. Boom. All those missed opportunities, all those people who you called that were going to do a deal with you, but they didn't because you forgot to follow up with them. Well, now AI can help you with that. AI can now do that. And again, this is all possible now. It's not just, magic, and it's not just theory. It's actually possible. So another way, create a customized contract assistant. Checks, verifies, and assists for you. Like, you can upload this into the same server that I just showed you. You'll upload the contract, and now you can give the training data of like, hey, for our CTM contracts, this is how you verify it. Here's how you know what works for buyers. Here's how you know what works for this type of loan. And you just give it all that data. Once you do it one time and it's built out, guess what? Now it's a invaluable tool you can use forever. All of your agents can now use it. And just say, hey, use our AI chatbot. Make sure you upload your contract and have the AI assistant verify that your contract is good. Obviously, you're always going to want to have human verification at the end because that's how it works. You still need human assistant. But for the most part, it's going to identify things like a small little typo in some of the contracts that you might have missed because obviously our eyes are like so skip everything. So we might have missed 2 typos that could have literally made the contract invalid. And now AI helped assist in identifying that, and now we saved ourselves a big check. Transcribe sales calls, reviews, and provide feedback. So it's getting to the point now where all of your salespeople, it will automatically transcribe their conversations into text, and it will review it. And same with the coaching chatbot, it will provide feedback to your salespeople on the spot. Like, hey, Jeremy, great call today. This is what happened. Summary. Here are some ways you can improve. Here's how you could have gotten the sale. Again, using your data. and again, many more things. So let's go over some more stuff real quick. I know this is kind of getting kind of long, but I promise you at the end, which it's coming up shortly, I'm going to kind of ask questions. So right now, actually, there is a giant lag in this live. So if you have, this is sparking any ideas, you have things that you want to talk about or ask, if you have a certain situation right now, like what problems you're having in real estate, I'd love to kind of walk through some of your real live examples. So right now in the chat, on the YouTube chat, go in there and write your question. Write, hey, Renee, how can AI help me do this? Hey, Renee, I am this. How can AI do that? Or what are ways that I can use it for so-and-so? So just make sure you do that now because it does have a lag and I want to kind of start getting some so I can go through them at the end. Okay, so advanced automations. Next level applications are now possible, kind of what I talked about. So here's a breakdown that a developer created that is literally, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps. So it's an 8-step process that just uses Python code, uses AI and other AI tools like Stability.ai to create this automatic email campaign. So what it does is in the beginning here, you see it's going to go to Python script, it's going to activate it. It's going to go to Google and it's going to web scrape and search AI Google News. And it's going to search up, let's say if you want to talk about real estate news in Denver, you can put that as the keyword. It'll search it. It'll use ChatGPT to write everything, and it'll create news summaries based off of the live today news articles, not things that are from 2021, but again, live right now. It'll read it, create a Python script from it. Then you'll create an email newsletter image, which you don't actually need that. But then it writes the email newsletter based off of the prompt you give it, and then it sends the email to your mail list automatically. So what I'm talking about here is, because it's on a sure time trigger, what it's going to do is every morning at 8 a.m., you can send out automated emails about the latest Denver news market updates, or every week. Again, it doesn't have to be every day, but it could be every week. It could be every morning. And now it's going to do it for you. And as soon as you built it once, guess what? You don't ever have to do it again. Obviously, there might be a little bit of maintenance here and there, but for the most part, it's just going to go on itself without you having to do a single thing. Now, all of those email newsletters that you get, they all could be automated and you can provide value and stuff like that. So just to give you context of what type of advanced automations are possible now. And also for this one, before AI, right, before where we are now, just for context, this 8-step trigger, 8-step automation, this would have been like 50 plus steps, just so you know. To give you context of how powerful AI is getting, this would have been 50 steps, a bunch of custom code, and it might have not even been perfect. But now with AI, this is possible and it's easier and it's faster to create. Okay, so now let's talk about lead generation with AI, right? So again, I am a real estate marketer. I do a lot of real estate marketing. So let's start thinking like a marketer, right? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel or overthink. You never have to go for the sale with a cold audience. I hate when people try to just, hey, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate investor, I'm this and that, and they try to go right off the bat and try to get a sale. Real estate doesn't work that way. You guys should know that, right? You have to build rapport and trust first by providing value. Okay, and so now we're going to talk about some ways that AI can help you do just that. So for lead generation, these are the 3 main methods. There's obviously a couple more, but I kind of combined them into 3 main methods for lead generation and the things that you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. For one, paid ads platform, all of the paid stuff, right? Like sponsored events, like if you pay for it, affiliates and partners like Zillow when you take a split, realtor referrals, which also you have to give a split. There's organic, which is social media. There's events, there's networking, there's open houses, there's door knocking, there's cold calling. And then there's referrals, which is like word of mouth. Again, referrals in person, reviews that people leave for you that other people get attracted to, and even like client events that you throw. Okay, so these are all the ways to generate leads, right? So I'll give you a practical AI example of how we used it specifically in our real estate business. So Skylar's a real estate agent. That is my girlfriend Skylar on the left. And what I did for her is I ran some paid ads, right? And leads are not hard to generate. Like even if you had a crappy ad and you put it out there and you're spending $50 a month, you'll get some leads. But what happens is, one, obviously you think the lead quality is bad, which I think that is a myth. I don't think ever any lead is bad, even if they have a low credit score, even if they don't have a job. Like it's still a person that uses social media, and it's a live human being that has a network of friends, a network of people, And you just never know. They might just be going through a hard time, but maybe all of the rest of their family could be multimillionaires, right? Extreme example, but just from my point, they're people, they're humans. And as long as you take care of people, they will take care of you, okay? So leads are not hard to generate with paid ads, but follow-up is hard, right? Obviously, if you're a real estate agent, a developer, or whatever, an investor, it's hard to follow up because you have your day-to-day stuff you have to do. But again, that's AI can now take care of some of that for you. But here's how AI can help with follow-up. So what I did is I ran some paid ads and it went into a landing page, which is the opt-in, and the paid ad was for first-time home buyers. The landing page was like a first-time home buyer program, like the most, the simple generic one. And then AI follow-up went in through, and what I did was I made a chatbot within our CRM, which is Buildmatic, and I created the chatbot to pretty much try to book an appointment with them. So it would have a conversation. It would answer any questions based off of a Q&A that I just put in, like, the questions and answers to give it context of who we are, how we work, what our hours of operation is, what the next steps are, what they need, what, who we're looking for. Like, you just give it all the context. And now the AI is going to talk for you, and it's going to be your sales associate. And that's exactly what it did. So if you can see in some of these, and if you can't, I'll kind of read them to you. So this was an automatic trigger kickoff. As soon as the lead came in, right, they opted in. Within 5 minutes, or I think it was 3 minutes, it sends them this text, right? It says, Hey Sue Ann, I just got your request to help you find a down payment assistance program in Colorado. How exciting. Do you know what area you're looking to buy in? Have you decided? Skylar, right? And then they responded in Green Valley. And then this is the AI, by the way. This was automated, but now this is the AI triggering. Great. I'm happy to help you with this. Let me check out times for us to have a call and discuss your goals and provide you with a game plan. How does Saturday, March 25th, 10 a.m. or Monday, March 27th at 1 p.m. work for you? And again, this is pulling off of Skylar's availability. So not only is it kind of trying to book an appointment, but it's actually using live data from Skylar's Google Calendar to see when she's available. So she doesn't have to, verify that she is available or not. It just does it for her. And then the lead responded, how about 10 a.m. Monday? I'm working tomorrow in the morning. It's like, awesome, your appointment is set. And so if you see here, the automation kicked off. It created a calendar invite for the client or the prospect, and it created a calendar invite in Skylar's Google Calendar. And now it's going to also trigger off automations to let the client know, hey, your appointment's in 1 day. Excited to see you there. Hey, your appointment's in 1 hour. Excited to see you there. So you get me? So now you don't have to do stuff like that where something as simple as like just texting him, hey, are we all good to go for our appointment in 1 hour? You might forget that because you're going through a bunch of different things and you're just ready for your appointment. Now it's doing all the follow-up and some of the nurturing for you, at least the repetitive. But of course, when you get on the call, I believe it has to be a live human being for you to build rapport and get connection because AI can't do that. Okay, so it books the appointment and then it sends the reminders and nurtures and then the lender just shows up. So imagine that. All I did was run the ad, obviously built this out, but run the ad and now it's a machine. So even Skylar didn't even have to do anything. All she had to wait was for the lender to say, hey, they're pre-approved and you're good to go. And that's exactly how Skylar got her first deal within 2 weeks of getting her real estate license, by implementing marketing and AI automation into her business, right? And now she's on her third deal with multi-million-dollar buyers. So it's amazing what she's doing. Okay, so let's talk about some attraction strategies, right? So conversations equals conversion. So remember how we said that you do not want to conversate with people. I mean, you do not want to just attack them with like, hey, work with me, I'm a real estate agent. That's the bad way of doing it. So the way that you attract people you want to work with is by providing value first. So let's go through some scenarios for attracting people, right? 80% of this can be created using AI. So free hiking guide, you can create, again, using AI to find resources and then verify it yourself and update the data because it's not going to be perfect. But you're going to create free hiking guides, whether it's a PDF, it's a Google document, it's videos of you breaking it down, free dog resources, same thing. And so now you're just creating a bunch of these assets, which you can use with ChatGPT to be able to make these and provide them to people. And so what happens here, though, is this is the part where people mess up. They create all of this front end, nice looking stuff like, yeah, I have a free resource on that. You want it? Put your name and email, and that's it. But they forget what comes after that. And this is the nurturing part that I'm talking about. So what is the overall strategy here? You have to nurture your conversations. So once you have captured the information of a prospect who fits your criteria, because again, if you're a dog owner, like on this one, you're going to do the free dog resources. If you love dogs and that's your thing and you want to find people who also have dogs. If you're hiking and you like outdoors, you'll do that one. If you're a real estate investor, you might do the free investment guide. So you find something that aligns with what you love, your passions are, your hobbies, the people you like to attract. You create free, valuable resources to them by using AI, not your time, using AI to help you find those resources and put them together. Canva has AI automations and a bunch of other stuff, right? So once you capture the information, now it's time to nurture them. So again, the paid ads section, you can either do organically, or if you have an email list, you could do it through there, or you can run paid ads saying download this free guide. Then there's a landing page opt-in. So what happens is the landing page opt-in goes into the weekly newsletter. And so once they opt in, now you can use AI to create up weekly newsletters such as, hey, if this is for dogs, here are the 5 best dog parks, here are the 5 best dog-friendly restaurants, here are whatever. And now the people are loving this because they're getting newsletters from what they signed up on, not about real estate. Remember, they're getting information and value based off what they signed up on. You should not be sending real estate information. Hey, I'm a realtor, buy or sell. Here's the market update. None of that. This is just for you to nurture them, okay? So what happens after the weekly newsletter? You keep that going, get a couple touches, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You also start inviting them to show up. Okay, this is where personality, personal branding comes into play. Your weekly newsletters can have pictures of you like with your dog while you're giving updates, but now you're inviting them to show up. So here are some examples of what I mean by that. In your newsletter, now you have this newsletter and 500 people in it. You just say, hey, join me for a coffee break. Coffee's free on me. I'll be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. at so-and-so coffee shop. You know, wave to me and I'll buy your coffee on me. Boom. So, and again, you have to word it to the point where like you're making like, hey, I'd love to meet a lot of you guys. We know we're all dog owners, blah, blah, blah. But that's an example. Another one, free biscuits tomorrow, meet me here. Or for hikers, hiking trip tomorrow, tag along, you know, message me here or email me back if you're interested. Again, we're trying to spark conversations here. We're trying to get people to kind of get to know us more before we even talk about real estate. Some of you guys are really just trying to, hey, looking to buy or sell? No? Okay, next. That's not how it works. Okay, so now when you do these examples, join me, hiking trip, tag along, get to this next event. Hey, I'd love to see you guys in person. Hey, here's this free thing. Here's this free event. Now you're going to have them show up and build actual real conversations in person, because once they see you in person, they're not going to act like the person that ghosts you when you don't, like that stranger that ghosts you when you just, you know, submit a lead and you get a lead and they don't answer. Why? Because you never built rapport or conversation. Okay, so now you're meeting them in person, you're having conversations, and same thing again, more weekly newsletters, more value to them, retarget them with more ads or send them more reminders or give them more value. This is why you have to focus on one. You can't be doing, oh, I'm going to do one for dogs and hikers and this and that, because otherwise as a real estate agent, you're never going to be able to do this. You just have to focus on one. One email strategy will get you all of this. So now when you do that, after the 5th touch point, after the 6th email, after you met them in person, now it's easier to ask for help. And this is something I got from Hatch Coaching, where now you can go out and ask, like, hey, I love everyone that was here at the whatever, love to meet you all, whatever. And now you ask, hey, can I ask for help real quick? Can I have some assistance? I have a challenge. I'm trying to get 3 more buyers under contract by the end of this month. Do you happen to know anyone that's looking to purchase in real estate right now? And guess what? People are not going to ignore you or ghost you. They're actually going to want to help. They're going to try to think really hard because they like you now. You had conversations with them. You gave them a bunch of free stuff. Now the law of reciprocity kicks in, and now they want to help you. This is where the deals come in, and this is exactly how you book those appointments. Simple strategy like this is literally all it takes to just build something month after month, year over year. But a lot of you guys are not doing that. So make sure you take a screenshot of this and start implementing something like this. Okay. So let me go through some of these practical AI examples for you guys. Just to give you some more context on this reel for Skylers, there's this thing called 11labs.io. Okay, so 11labs.io is going to be able to clone your voice, and now you're going to be able to create reels like this. So this last reel, if you see all her other reels, obviously she's trying to get more into social media, but this one had 2.1K views, the latest one, and this was created by cloning her voice using 11labs.io. So there she is right there. So if I go back to here.
Reasons to purchase a new construction home in Denver. First, customizability. Want that open concept kitchen with an island, or maybe a home office with a breathtaking mountain view? New construction homes give you the freedom to make those decisions. Next up, you've got brand new everything. That means the latest and greatest in home technologies, energy efficiencies, and design trends. With all those brand new systems in place, the need for immediate repairs is low and predictable. Let's not forget the lure of a fresh and vibrant community. And remember, a house is made of bricks and beams, but a home is made of hopes and dreams. Let's start building yours.
Amazing. So again, if you don't know her, it sounds exactly like her. And I couldn't even tell that it was an AI. So now imagine the capabilities of this, right? So now that you have that, so some of the things you can do is now automate your content creation. You can obviously film all the videos, take videos of yourself, brand yourself, but now you can hand them off to an editor and say, hey, use my 11 Labs voice clone, go to my account, create all of these scripts for me. Or you can just use ChatGPT to help create at least the drafts, and then you edit them. Then you send them off to the editor and say, hey, use 11 Labs, use my voice. Now I don't have to schedule a voiceover at a studio and pay $50 an hour to just, get professional voiceover quality. And what you heard was also just recorded with an iPhone, and it was done within seconds. So if you go here, speech synthesis, to speech synthesis, you can literally do instant voice cloning, and all it takes is like 1, 2, 3 files that are under 10 megabytes, and you have your voice clone. She recorded like 3 minutes of video or of audio, and we just uploaded it, and now we have her full voice clone. But here's where it gets to the next level. What people are not thinking about is obviously if you're English speaking and you don't have Spanish speaking skills, or maybe there's another language barrier that you have with certain clients, you can help educate your clients by cloning your voice and using ChatGPT to translate, and then voice 11labs.ai or .io to transcribe it into their specific language. So let's go through that real quick as an example. If I go to ChatGPT, let me go to, let's see these book summaries that I have here. So I did this book summary here. Let's pretend this is a real estate information, right? So now if I go to 11, I paste it here. So this will generate obviously the regular English version. So it's going through
Green starts by emphasizing that a deep understanding of human nature is the key to gaining power and achieving success in any field.
Okay, but guess what? Now I can use this, go to ChatGPT, but transcribe the following into Spanish. Okay, now I copy this, go into 11 Labs, generate.
Green comienza enfatizando que una comprensión profunda de la naturaleza humana es la clave para obtener poder y alcanzar el éxito en cualquier campo. Él sugiere que podemos utilizar este conocimiento para moldear nuestro comportamiento, interactuar de manera más efectiva con los demás y cambiar nuestro entorno a nuestro.
Perfect. So you see, you get the concept here, right? Obviously, there's a little bit of like accent things that need to change. But my point is you can actually record certain Spanish phrases from her and then upload a Spanish version of Skylar, and now it sounds way better. But you're ultimately able to transcribe any of your voices. Actually, let me do this, into any other language. So now what I'm using is the multilingual version of speech synthesis.
Green comienza enfatizando que una comprensión profunda de la naturaleza humana es la clave para obtener poder y alcanzar el éxito en cualquier campo. Él sugiere que podemos utilizar este conocimiento para moldear nuestro comportamiento, interactuar de manera más efectiva con los demás y cambiar nuestro entorno a nuestro favor.
Perfect. So again, that sounds way better because I used the multilingual version of it, but you can use this to create educational videos. You can have your headshot in the video. You can make PowerPoint presentations. You can make open house tours and send it to a German family, a Polish family, and actually give them the details of the house and everything, but like in their own language so they can understand it. If you have any questions, you can replay your voice in Spanish or in English or German or whatever you want. So now the language barrier is becoming not much of a gap anymore, and now you can communicate with a much broader audience and at least start conversations with them, or at least get them intrigued. And obviously I would suggest to always have that language, that native language speaking person there to at least assist them if you were going to take them on as a client. But this is at least how you as an agent can at least attract or help educate those people. You might just want to give them value, but you can't because you can't speak Spanish. Well, this is one way of doing it. Okay. So just think about those type of things. Okay. So now you create educational videos, translate them, reach broader audience. Here's one last two strategies I'm going to give you guys. And if I see nothing in the chat, then I'm going to end the masterclass. But the coloring book strategy, super simple thing. Using something like Discord, I created these. Discord, if you don't know, this is a Mid-Journey bot, actually. You just have to use it through Discord. But I created these things just by giving it a prompt, like a black and white style kids coloring book that portrays animals learning about home ownership. And guess what I did? So now, let me see, I think let's go here. I created, and this is just simple. Obviously I can make it better, but now I created a full-on coloring book that is now an asset, something for free, a resource that I'm going to give out to people with families. So obviously people who want coloring books to print at home, they're going to be parents. They're going to have kids. They're going to have toddlers. So now I'm attracting my ideal client. Maybe I am that family man that wants to attract people with families. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is create coloring books for free, run ads, or send it to my email list and say, hey, just to show you too, I think I have this PDF coloring book right here. See? So now you can give them this PDF that has a full-on coloring book that I just created with my branding, right? Scholar Sheila, your family realtor. That is a free resource for now people with kids. And they're going to print it at home and it's free. And all you have to do is put your name and email to get it. And now you can download it for free. And this is an example, like a home ownership Fox, children's guide to home ownership. And you could make it whatever, right? It could be insurance. It could be whatever you want. But my point is, it's educational. You can make boxes. You can kind of edit this and add boxes in there and add actual like education points in it for kids. Make like Dr. Seuss rhymes. And again, you can use ChatGPT to help create those rhymes, those Dr. Seuss type rhymes, and just add them in here. Now the parents are going to love this. And they're like, oh my God, I love your coloring books. Like you make them once every month and they're just so amazing. My kids love coloring them, la, la, la. They're always waiting for it. Boom. Now you're literally top of mind. And obviously you're branding it here. So they're always going to see your face and they're going to love you because you created a free asset for them for something that was valuable to them, which is their kids. They want to educate their kids. So now you're becoming an asset to the parents and you're attracting your ideal clients. They're putting their name and email. You're also nurturing them if you create this once a month. And all I did was literally within seconds, just created one here using Discord. There's a bunch of other things. And again, I know this masterclass doesn't go like tutorial wise, but in my backend training, I'll start making tutorials on how to use some of these strategies and actually do it step by step. But I'm just showing you in this masterclass overall the capabilities of AI and how you can use it for real estate. Okay. Now, one last thing I want to go through is becoming better than Google. So you know how I told you data is more important, quality of data is more important than quantity. Well, right now, the way that Google works, when it was invented and everything, it was awesome, right? You can search up things. ChatGPT now is even better because it kind of brings up the answers for you, but it's still vague. It's still not good quality. If I go right now and ask it, what is the best dog-friendly restaurants in Westminster, Colorado, in Denver, Colorado, it will not give me the actual best ones. It might give me a list of some that it might have found on the internet based off of 2021, but some of those might be closed. Some of those might not be working. So I'm going to show you an example of something that I'm building on my end to help attract clients. And this concept, which is crazy because this whole idea would have costed me probably like 30 grand to build. Now I'm going to build it for free because I know how to use the tools and the skills to use them. And it might only take me a week to build. And so the whole point of it is that chatbot that I just created, I can add all of my local aggregated data, such as best dog parks, dog-friendly restaurants, dog-friendly bars, dog-friendly state parks, attractions, vets, clinics, events, and then put into factors such as like the ratings, when they're open, hours of operation, amenities, best known for, short description. So all that data I collected, right? And it took me less than a couple days because I used ChatGPT and AI. And now what I'm doing is now it's a free resource for dog owners where they just log in and they can ask the chatbot, hey, I am looking to get some sushi with my girlfriend at 6 p.m. Where can we go that's dog friendly? And it will literally search the database and it will give them, hey, Hapa Sushi is open at 6 p.m. and is dog friendly and they close until 10 p.m. Boom. And now I'm creating a list. I can also add to lists, and I can make my own itinerary for dog owners who always want to know where can they take their dogs that they're not going to be kicked out of. So now we're going to become the go-to resource for Denver dog owners in Denver, and all created with AI, something again, super crazy to think about the idea, the conceptualization of the idea, but now it's possible. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. But anyways, guys, again, thank you all for joining us on this AI Masterclass. If you guys are watching in a replay, let me know what questions you have. And if you guys don't have the link to the actual educational courses on the back end, just let me know. But pretty much everyone who's here, everyone on their email is going to be getting templates, education, and courses. This was an overview, but I'm actually going to give you like, hey, here's how you create your own coloring book. Here's how you make your own AI agent, and actually give you the step-by-steps with some templates that you can use to create your own, And my goal again here is to just create educational resources to make it easier for any real estate professional to adapt and embrace AI into their business. So once again, guys, my name is Renee. If you guys have any questions about AI or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope that this was valuable to a lot of you, and whoever is watching this on a replay, I hope that you get a lot of value out of this and you implement some of the stuff and you guys sign up for some of those courses and education. But thanks again, guys, for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you on another workshop pretty soon.